If you are looking for a new gaming PC build that fits your budget and is going to give you amazing performance for the price, this video is going to be for you. I will show you the best gaming PC build for every budget and every resolution, 1080p, 1440p and 4K. And I will also show you the level of performance that you can expect with each system, both in high demanding games like Cyberpunk 2077 and in esports shooters such as Fortnite or Valorant. So this is going to be the complete guide for you if you want a new computer. All the links to these gaming PCs will be down below in the video description. My name is Valentino, and with that being said, let's start. With the first one, we have the cheapest one on the list for under $850, and this one is the 1080p maxed out settings / 1440p ultra gaming system. And the reason why I call this one like that is because you can play any game at 1080p maxed out settings, and you can also play at 1440p high to ultra settings with no issues, but I will get to the level of performance in a second. The reason why this system is so great in terms of price to performance is because you get the i5-12400F CPU going right now for $110, which is an amazing discount. And then the graphics card is the RX 6800, which is a great graphics card for 1440p resolution. Now you can also get another alternative, which is the RX 7700 XT graphics card, which is basically the same GPU as this one, but it is more recent. So if you want a newer graphics card with AV1 encoding, which is going to be helpful if you are going to be streaming, then that graphics card will be better for you, and I will leave it as an alternative down in the description. Now for the rest of the components, you get a B760 motherboard with Wi-Fi included, you get 16 gigs of RAM, a 1TB SSD, so plenty of storage, then you get an MSI case with a front mesh panel, so you get amazing airflow, and you get a 750 watt power supply from MSI as well, which is going to be ideal for this build. In terms of gaming performance, you can expect around 85 plus FPS on average at 1440p resolution on the most high demanding titles such as Cyberpunk 2077, The Last of Us Part 1, Alan Wake 2 and these type of games. If you want to play easy to run games such as Fortnite or Valorant, you can expect well over 144 plus FPS at 1440p resolution competitive settings, and if you play at 1080p you can expect 240 plus FPS on average. So if you want a 240Hz 1080p monitor, feel free to buy one because this system is going to be ideal for that. And also if you want to play high demanding games at 1080p resolution, then you can expect 110 plus FPS on average, which is an insane number considering the type of games that are being tested. In terms of pricing, as I said before, this one is a bit under $850. Maybe when you are watching this video is even cheaper, or maybe it's a bit more expensive. So if you want to check the latest prices and availability, remember that these PCs will be down in the description. Now, if you don't want to play at 1080p and you want to play at least at 1440p, perhaps 4K resolution as well, then I have the $1,200 perfect system for you, because you get the AMD Ryzen 5 7600 CPU, which is an amazing 6-core 12-thread processor, alongside the RX 7900 GRE graphics card, which is in my opinion the best value 1440p gaming graphics card, right next to the RTX 4070 Super from Nvidia, which if you are looking for an Nvidia GPU, this is the best alternative. And once again, I'll talk about the level of performance in a second. This system has the AM5 platform, which if you don't know what that means, basically because you get the Ryzen 5 7600 and AM5 motherboard, down the line if you want to upgrade to new CPUs from AMD, you can actually upgrade without having to change the motherboard. Whereas if you get an Intel CPU or a CPU from the AM4 platform from Ryzen, then if you want to upgrade to newer CPUs that are coming out this year or in the next few years, you will have to upgrade the entire motherboard, which can be a headache, more expensive, and it's going to take you longer. So this one is very upgradable over time, and you get the B650 Eagle AX motherboard right now going on a really nice discount for $140. It is a very nice motherboard. And then you get an aftermarket CPU cooler that's RGB, so looks amazing, and it's going to fit right into this case, which has plenty of airflow. And I'm talking about the Fantex XT Pro Ultra with 4 pre-installed fans, a front mesh panel, looks beautiful in my opinion, and it has a very decent price. Now in terms of the level of performance, well, at 1440p you can expect over 100 FPS on average, and remember I'm talking about high demanding titles. So if you want to play esports shooters, here you can expect 240 plus FPS at 1440p competitive settings. And then the Nvidia alternative, the RTX 4070 Super, is going to be a nice alternative if you must have Nvidia. So if you want a better level of ray tracing performance, or if you want to have DLSS as your upscaler, which has a better image quality than AMD's FSR, then getting the 4070 Super is going to be ideal. Just keep in mind that it's going to be a bit more expensive, so I get to the pricing in a second. But before getting into the pricing, the power supply is different here. I went with a 750 850 watt power supply from Be Quiet. This one is A tier rated, which is ideal for a build like this one, and the total price is under $1,200 if you go with the 7900G RE, and if you end up going with the RTX 4070 Super, it's going to be around $1,240, so quite more expensive, but worth it in my opinion if you want an Nvidia graphics card. With the next one we have the best $1,500 4K Ultra / 1440p maxed out gaming system. Here you can max out any setting at 1440p in any game, and you can also play at 4K high to ultra settings with no issues. And the reason why this one is so good is because you get the RTX 4070 Ti Super for the graphics card, which will allow you to achieve higher frame rates than the last system, and I will get to the level of performance in a second. The rest of the components are very similar compared to the last one. The only differences here is that you get an 850 watt power supply, which is going to be ideal for the future in case you want to upgrade your components to higher end ones, and then you get 2 TB of SSD instead of a 1 TB, which means that you have more storage to download more games, or if you do content creation, to transfer heavier files. Then you get the same 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, which I forgot to mention in the last system, but basically having 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, and by the way, very fast memory, 6000 MHz CL30 timings, which if you're a beginner, don't worry about the numbers, just know that having this memory kit will allow you to do streaming and content creation at a higher level than if you were to have just 16 gigs of RAM. In terms of gaming performance, you can expect over 120 FPS when it comes to 1440p high demanding titles on ultra settings, and over 300 FPS on average in esports shooters such as Fortnite or Valorant. Then if you play at 4K on the same test in the most high demanding titles, with the 4070 Ti Super you will be able to achieve 70 plus FPS, and this is native resolution, so if you turn on the upscaler, which in this case is DLSS, you can expect closer to 80 to 100 plus FPS on average, depending on the game and depending on the exact settings. And then if you want an alternative that's cheaper, you can have the RX 7900 XT graphics card, which is from AMD, and it has basically the same level of performance as the 4070 Ti Super, but you lose the Nvidia feature set. So if you were looking to play with ray tracing enabled, or if you want DLSS or the better graphics card when it comes to productivity work and content creation, then I highly recommend you going with the 4070 Ti Super. But if you don't do any of that stuff and you want to do gaming only, then the 7900 XT is going to give you the same or even a slightly faster gaming performance for almost $100 less. So the price for the system with the 4070 Ti Super is just under $1,500, and the price for the entire system with the 7900 XT is going to be closer to $1,400. So very good pricing. In my opinion, this is the best value overall gaming system in this video. And then if you want the best of the best for gaming, I recommend you getting the $2,000 4K Ultra Gaming PC. This one has the Ryzen 7 7800X3D CPU alongside the RTX 4080 Super graphics card. This CPU and GPU combo will allow you to play at 4K Ultra settings, 85 plus FPS on average in high demanding games, and if you want to play esports shooters, you can expect 360 plus FPS at 4K competitive settings, or 500 plus FPS if you want to play at 1440p competitive settings. Now, I believe this is all that you're going to need for gaming at 4K, and here you get a liquid cooler for the CPU, which is going to look nicer. You get an NZXT H5 Flow RGB case, which in my opinion is one of the best looking cases out there in the market, and right now it's going for just $90, so it is a nice discount. Then you get a 1000 watt A tier rated power supply for future upgrades in case you want higher end components down the line. Then you get a higher end motherboard with more features, and you get 2 TB of Gen 4 SSD instead of Gen 3, which is going to be ideal if you do something like content creation. Keep in mind that here I do not recommend you getting the AMD alternative, the RX 7900 XTX, because it's just going to be around $50 less at the moment when I'm recording this video, and for $50 less I do not recommending, because you lose a lot of performance if you want to play with ray tracing on, and the Nvidia feature set is more complete, especially if the price difference is only $50 when talking about high-end graphics cards like these ones, which are around $900 to $1,000. So the price is $2,000 with the 4080 Super. If you choose the 7900 XTX, it's going to be around $1,955, but again, I do not recommend it. And if you want the best of the best for 4K resolution, then I recommend you getting the RTX 4090, but you do have to have a good PC around it, so I will leave that bonus system down in the video description. So if you have a lot of money to spend and you just want the best gaming performance, that one is going to be the ideal system for you. And down in the description, you will also have cheaper systems than the first one in case you have under $850 to spend and you want a good 1080p gaming performance. Now, if you need personal PC help and you want me to help you out and give you the perfect PC build or pre-built PC or maybe a laptop, then in the top top link in the description, you can find my personal PC help. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.